Happy Three String Thursday. I'm Mike Snowden. I'm down here in my shop in Marietta, Georgia. SnowdenGuitars.com is where you can find me online. I hope everybody's having a great week out there. We're waiting on this crazy hurricane to blow through tonight in Atlanta, so that ought to be interesting. But in the meantime, I got an email last night from this guy Thomas that bought a guitar from me, and he said, "Hey Mike, how do you get a clean tone when you're playing with a slide?" So I thought that'd be a cool Three-String Thursday today. And to me, nothing sounds better than a cigar box guitar played with a slide. It gives you that swampy goodness that you want to hear. You get all those in-between notes. That's what's great with a slide. You try to play it over the frets to get the right note, but you also want to bend it and move it and slide it around. You know, that's why it's a slide, right? So you get all those in-between ghost notes and cool sounding stuff. But then you can get a lot of chatter and bumping on the frets and all that kind of stuff. So I'll give you guys just a couple pointers, maybe help you clean up that sound a little bit. Sometimes you want a little rattle, you know, you might want a little rattle in there sometimes, but it's also cool to get a clean. Or a combination of a little rattle and clean. But a couple things I could tell you to get a nice slide that fits your finger. Whichever finger you decide to use. I like to use my ring finger. These are just my tips. Whatever works for you. This is just some tips that I can give you how I play slide. So yeah, I have a Dunlop 218. You can check these out on my website. I sell them there. But perfect little short slide. It fits my finger really good. I really like these glass slides. To me, they sound great. You can get a slide made out of metal, plastic, glass, bone. There's a million things. This is just what I like. So yeah, get a slide that fits you good. Also, hold your guitar. If you hold your guitar in a weird way, like too low or too high, I like to hold it fairly straight, because when you do slide, you want your slide to be perpendicular to the frets. So one thing I do is I kind of tuck my elbow in and maybe raise this shoulder. I don't know what I'm doing. But yeah, I kind of tuck this elbow in and I try and put my slide right over those frets, right on top of them. And then when I do, I take my pointer finger and my middle finger and I just barely touch the strings. I kind of use these fingers to kind of mute the back side of the string. So wherever my slide goes, these two fingers, if I'm just on one string, they just follow that slide. If I'm on if I'm on all three strings, I kind of rest it on all three strings. So if I do want it to chatter, I will lift up all the strings that are muting behind it. Hear the difference? All the chatter going on there. But you can do that if you're doing a solo and you want to get it a little more excitement in there. You could do that. But generally, most of the times, I keep my fingers right behind that slide. So yeah, man, and I also try and give it a little wiggle. Kind of gives you that human voice kind of sound. Give it a little vibrato. Try and get your slide to move a little bit. Instead of just... You could give it a little movement. Another thing is not to be in a hurry to get to that note. You can just let it slide up to that note, which is kind of cool. That gives it a neat thing. Kind of like we're doing that in my beginning, my little intro. I kind of slide up real slow. So yeah, it's another thing you can do. But yeah, to keep that chatter down, you can also raise your action. If your action's too low and maybe you're hitting on the frets, you could raise your action up a little bit. And all that means is you could put a bigger bolt. Like if you have a guitar with a bolt, you could put a little bit bigger bolt in there, and you would want to adjust your intonation with your bridge. But that you could raise your strings up just a little bit, and that might help if you're slapping on those frets too much. When I set my guitars up, I want to be able to play with my fingers. And I want to be able to slide. Back to fingering. Back to the slide. So I like the combination of a little slide and a little finger, but try those things. In your slide, you just want to barely rest it on those strings. Just want to lay it, as soon as it touches that string, that's all the pressure you want to put on the slide. Your back finger's kind of the same way. Just treat almost like you got to slide on those. Just let those rest. Another cool thing you can do is let those bottom two strings drone. Yeah, so there you go, man. There's some tips on trying to get a nice clean tone. Not too much pressure when you set your slide down on the string. Try and keep it perpendicular to the frets. Use your back fingers to kind of mute the strings so they don't rattle too much. Give it a little movement. Don't be in too much a hurry to get to that note. Give it some time. All right, guys, hope those tips help you out. Y'all have a great week. We'll see you guys next time.